College Gym Vids fan going live on YouTube. This is another full episode of 911. It's Rescue 911, Snow Girl Save. I think this might be a Christmas episode, but I'm not sure. Now I'm gonna put my iPhone into the case holder and press the play button. This is a Get TV Rescue 911 episode.
Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct.
I'm wondering if this is Snow Girl Save is when Brittany was out in the freezing cold and she was like 3 years old. I'm surprised they didn't preview what was coming up on Rescue 911. They usually do.
Volume 21. Volume 40.
On May 15, 1990, Becky Day and her children were prepared to return home after visiting relatives in Tecumseh, Oklahoma. But before leaving town, Becky had a last-minute errand to run.
I think this is a car save episode too, like when they stop at a convenience store.
On her way to the airport, Becky pulled into the parking lot of the local mini market.
St. Peter's, I told the children, I said, I'll just be in here for a second, stay in the car, which they did a lot. It's a little town, and people just run in the store and leave their kids in the car all the time. You don't worry about anybody taking your kids.
She, a rider, happened to be driving by.
I couldn't really tell what was going on, but I knew this was unusual for a car to be rolling out into Highway 9, which is a very busy highway.
Although Sherry had managed to turn the steering wheel of the car enough to keep it out of the oncoming traffic, the car had struck her in the process.
I said, where you heard at? She told me, she said, I can't breathe.
When we continued,
she looked up to me and all she keeps repeating was, it says, are those kids okay? Are those kids okay? You know, that would be in my mind forever, I guess.
Now I can fast forward through the commercial.
New set of Christmas classics coming up on ETV, where America celebrates Christmas.
She just laid there and kind of moaned. She made groaning noises. I was even afraid that she was going to die.
Sherry, everything's gonna be all right. We're here.
Someone at the scene who recognized the victim as Sherry Hagan had immediately called her husband Rick.
It was just an empty feeling of not knowing what happened, how bad it was.
Sherry, what happened?
She looked up to me, and all she could keep repeating was, "It says, are those kids okay? Are those kids okay?" You know, that'll be in my etched in my mind forever, I guess.
Denny Parton was the first paramedic on the scene.
I give her a quick once-over. I listen to her chest because supposedly this is where she had most of the trauma. The car had run up onto her chest, so I'm really very worried about internal injuries. Her main complaint at this time is not her breathing. She's complaining a lot of severe spinal pain right in the middle of her back. She's also complaining of some tingling and some paralysis going down her lower extremities. She cannot move her legs as well as I think somebody should be able to, probably due to the injury to her spine.
I felt like if I had not left the kids there, this wouldn't have happened. So there was a real sense of feeling responsible for what had taken place.
At nearby Mission Hills Hospital, doctors began running a series of tests to determine the extent of Sherry's injuries.
Got the other right hand there?
Yeah.
This is gonna hurt. Big out's coming right now.
Oh.
Squeeze my hand.
Pat Thomason, the administrator who was our friend, just come and put her arm around me and said, "It doesn't look good, Ray. She's really in bad shape. We may lose her."
Sherry was airlifted 60 miles to the trauma unit of Mercy Hospital, where she was put under the care of Dr. Timothy Brody.
Tubes between her ribs and outside her lungs.
Broken ribs had punctured her left lung. X-rays also revealed a crushed vertebrae pressing against her spinal cord. She needed surgery, but was not yet stable enough to survive it.
The mortality rate is 20 to 30% of those people who die from complications of being that ill. So it's one thing to get there and get stabilized, it's another to get through the rocky course that comes with the injuries.
How do you tell your kids that there's a possibility that they lost another? And I guess the biggest problem of trying to explain it was it wasn't a disease, and it wasn't a car wreck. It was a situation where she was trying to save somebody else's life.
On the 9th night, further complications set in.
For some reason, there was either clog in the tubing or a blockage in the lungs.
Sherry, what's wrong? Just relax, Sherry. You're not getting enough air? Okay, so you're breathing down.
Which is, "Rick, you gotta leave."
I need some help.
Then over the PA system, you hear code blue for room 162.
The tube had been pulled from her right chest because it had seen that the air leak had sealed when the lung collapsed again on the right side, and in fact her heart quit.
Let's get another tube in here so we can reanimate her.
Atropine again?
She's still getting rhythm now.
Atropine was given, which is a drug to stimulate the heart. What's the rhythm?
She stays systole on monitor.
Chest compressions.
Need to move this tube too. She's not moving any air.
Epinephrine in.
Epinephrine
I
in.
feel pulse.
Okay, so we got a rhythm.
Stop the
Rhythm's
breathing.
back. She's back at 68.
There's a marked difference in breath sounds. Fortunately, Sherry was a young, healthy person, and the rhythm was reestablished.
When Dr. Brody came out to tell me that she was okay or had stabilized again, I could see that he had to scare his life too.
Two weeks later, doctors were finally able to remove the bone fragments from Sherry's spine, but they were unsure whether she'd ever walk again.
I don't really resent what happened to me. I think part of the reason for that is because I have made such a complete recovery.
incident has restored my faith in human nature. When I was in the hospital, I probably got 20 cards a day. And they were all from people, a lot of them I didn't even know who they were.
She's a very giving person. I wouldn't begrudge her if she did it again. And I'm sure she would do it if she was capable to do it again. She's a hero. I'm proud of her.
Sherry Hagan was awarded the prestigious Carnegie Medal of Honor for risking her life to try to save 3 children she did not know. 1 year later, she finally got a chance to meet them.
Hi, Sherry. You look wonderful. Thanks. I do watch what I do with the kids, not just with the car, but I find myself a lot more alert to the possibility of danger now with anything that they do. I wish that, her injuries wouldn't have happened, but I am really grateful that she was there and that she was willing to help my kids.
I guess I felt like I had to do something because I'm not the kind of person that would be able to sleep at night if I would have stood there and that car would have went onto the highway and those children would have been hurt. I just wish I could have been a bit more coordinated doing it so that I wouldn't have gotten hurt so badly. But I sleep fine at night now.
Next.
Everything that was going through my mind right then was, please God, this is a kid, this is Christmas, please don't do this to me. I don't know if I can handle this.
Oh, it's runaway car Snow Girl saved.
On December 23rd, 1990, Steve Robinson, his wife Melinda, and their 3-year-old daughter Brittany were getting ready for the holidays at their home in Elkins, West Virginia. But before they had time to open a single gift, they were wondering how much Christmas has to do with miracles after all.
It had been snowing on and off all day, and the temperature that night was expected to drop well below freezing.
Brittany'd asked me all day long to bake her Christmas cookies. She wanted her M&M ones made first. Then we made chocolate chip. Then I tried to get her to come in and put the sprinkles on top of the cookies.
Brittany kind of got tired of baking cookies. But she came back to the living room and laid down on the floor, and I got her a pillow and a couple covers. She laid and watched TV and fell asleep about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
I had fell asleep with the TV on too. Then I woke up at 3 o'clock. Brittany was sound asleep, so I just left her there with her covers and her pillows. And I went on into the bedroom and went to sleep.
Steve, honey, it's 9:30. Has Brittany been in here?
Brittany usually comes in her bedroom every morning around 7. It was real strange waking up knowing that she hadn't woke us up yet.
I come out here and I seen the front door open, and that scared me.
Brittany?
So then I went into her bedroom.
Brittany, honey?
And she wasn't in there.
Brittany?
I really didn't know where to think she was at.
Brittany? Brittany?
I thought she might have went to one of the neighbors' house. Or we call them Sherry's house to play with their little girl Megan because we take her up there all the time to play.
Oh, let me see Brittany. No.
They said they hadn't seen her.
Brittany?
At that point, I thought someone had kidnapped her. I was very panicked. We had gotten 2 trailers past ours, and that's when I looked over, and I seen her laying there.
I really went blank at first. All I can remember doing is just seeing her and grabbing her. Brittany was white. Her eyes were open when she was dead.
Emergency squad.
At 10 a.m., the call came into the Randolph County Communication Center. An ambulance from Randolph County EMS was immediately dispatched to the scene.
I didn't think there was any hope when I seen her laying there. At that point, I had to go back in the bedroom. I just couldn't stand there and look at her because I thought she was dead.
Come on, honey, breathe for me.
Neighbor Paul Owens began doing CPR on 3-year-old Brittany.
I started feeling for a pulse. I couldn't find the pulse.
Come on, honey.
I tried to hear, see if she was breathing. And she wasn't.
Honey.
Within 5 minutes, paramedic Brenda Daly and her partners arrived on the scene.
What happened? They found her in the snow.
When I picked her up, nothing moved on this child. This child was frozen, literally frozen stiff.
Come on, give him some room. Give him some room. Come on.
You know, when you take a piece of frozen meat out of the freezer, when I put my mouth on hers, that's exactly what it felt like. Everything that was going through my mind right then was, please God, this is a kid. This is Christmas Eve. Don't do this to me. I don't know if I can handle this.
I see the vocal cords were in.
We placed hot packs in her groin area, in her armpits.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Watching the emergency squad people work on her was a real scary thought, because I wasn't sure she was going to make it at all.
Okay, Doc, what do we got?
Brenda called into the Morgantown Medical Command Center, where Dr. John Prescott was on duty.
There's an old adage in emergency medicine that no one is dead until they're warm dead. If you approach the normal body temperature and your body doesn't respond, your heart doesn't respond, then it's appropriate to consider the patient dead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not knowing how cold the child was, we began with a standard advanced cardiac life support protocol and decided to give the child some medications down the endotracheal tube.
Brittany was rushed to Davis Memorial Hospital, where Dr. John Veach took over her care.
When Brittany came in, she was in fact clinically dead. She was pulseless and had no spontaneous respiration. We found, in fact, that she was profoundly hypothermic at 74 degrees. We continued CPR, and it was our hope that this hypothermia had protected her vital organs, and that as we warmed her, we would get a response.
The pulse, to a flat line.
Okay, we're doing everything that we can for her. The doctors and the nurses kept coming in like every 25 minutes, telling us still no change, but her temperature was coming up. I was trying to kind of close my eyes. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd see the baby. 1, 2, 3. We're sticking a tube into the stomach and giving warmed fluids to help reheat from the core.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
When her core body temperature had risen to 80 degrees, we saw some electrical activity on the monitor.
It was like, well, she's getting warm. Something's happening here.
Let's stop CPR and see if we have a pulse of that electrical activity.
When her temperature had risen another degree or two, we detected a faint pulse, and she began, in fact, to have some respiratory efforts of her own at that point.
Right before they took her out to the ambulance, they let me see her again. I was in hysterics when I looked at her. They're trying to tell me what they've done to her, and I wasn't really listening. I was just looking at my baby. I said, would it be all right if Brittany has her dog with her? And they said yes. They had her eyes taped shut, the tubes in her throat. The only thing you could see was her little nose sticking out.
Still unconscious, with a weak pulse, Brittany was taken by ambulance to the airport to be flown the 60 miles to Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. Her parents could not go there.
Going down the ambulance, she became very restless.
When you have a patient who is severely hypothermic, you need to be very careful not to disturb them too much. If they have a slow cardiac rhythm, you could change that very quickly into a bad rhythm.
Santa Claus is coming to see you.
As long as we had conversation with her and were paying attention to her, she would lay still. And she would not fight her E.T. tune as long as we would sing the little children's Christmas tunes to her. We were very euphoric. It was like a bonding was taking place between all three of us and this child who 3 hours before had no signs of life. But it is just like giving birth. She is bonded with us. It's kind of like she's part of us. She's a part of me.
At Children's Hospital, Brittany continued her remarkable recovery. 12 days after Christmas, she was released.
Getting her home, letting her enjoy having Christmas that she had missed while she had been in the hospital. That was the best time for me. Like everyone said, it was a real Christmas miracle.
Brittany has had some difficulty with motor function with the muscles in her lower extremities and her left upper extremity, but that seems to be improving day by day. She's doing quite well in physical therapy, and we all look forward to full recovery.
She's determined to walk and to get her hands back because the baby coming. She wants to take care of it.
Though she has several months of physical therapy ahead of her, Brittany sustained no permanent injuries.
You know, the mother is reading a Care Bear book to Brittany. I'm a Care Bear fan. I love the Care Bears.
Everybody did a good job. Paul, the DMH, Aaron Elkins Rescue Squad. I like the way they worked with her and the care they took.
This child survived 3 hours of CPR, being down in the cold for God knows how long. I feel that to survive all this and overcome this, she has a purpose. She has a very special purpose.
This was recorded on December 1st, 2019. Good time of the year to have it on at Christmas time. For more Rescue 911 videos, hit the big red button and subscribe. Peace out, YouTube.